Hi, my name is Trinity Wiley. I'm 22 years old, and this is my first YouTube video. Today, I will be telling my story in the hopes that it can help motivate and maybe even educate some people. Now, a quick PSA, if you see me looking down, it's because I have everything written down, so I can stay in chronological order and I can stay on task. Because one thing about me, when I get to talking, I can get off task. But I have lived my story with a front row ticket. Okay, I'm gonna say it one more time for y'all. I have lived my story with a front row ticket. So I'm well aware of the places I went down the wrong road. Uh, but let's remember, God had to write my story. I'm gonna say it again. Let's remember that God had to write my story. Okay? I would not be sitting here in front of you guys, telling you guys this story, having the wisdom and the knowledge that I have right now in my mind and my body if I did not go through these trials and tribulations and come out on the other side of them. Okay. So I have learned and moved on from these experiences. And I am glad I get to share them with you in the hopes of helping or saving someone else from the same fate. So what that means is I'm not ashamed of my story. I'm gonna say it again. I'm not ashamed of my story. And I wish that after people go through things and they emerge on the other side of them, learning from the things that they went through and becoming a better individual, I wish that people would stop being ashamed of what happened to them and what they went through. There is no need. If you have learned from your mistakes, stop carrying that burden. Stop carrying it around. Why are you doing that to yourself? Stop. There is nothing you can do. You don't have a time machine. I don't have a time machine. So by continuously ruminating on those thoughts, ruminating on the things and the places that you went wrong at, you are doing nothing but hurting yourself. Okay. So you learn from the mistakes, let them just be the mistakes, or I'd rather say learn lessons. Okay. They're just learned lessons and that's just what it is. So, I'm not ashamed of my story. So please don't be getting into my comments. Don't be getting into my comments, y'all, attempting to make me feel bad for things I did at the age of 16 to 21 years old. If that's your prerogative, baby, you got thumbs. So, hey, and even if you ain't got thumbs, you're gonna find one. So that's just that. I'm not making fun of anybody. He may be lacking thumbs, but I'm just saying, the Twitter fingers is real. Or I should say the YouTube fingers is real. Okay. And look, the world has enough hate. I'm gonna say it again. The world has enough hate, without you adding to it. If you don't leave that comment, baby, you'll live to see another day. Like, you ain't, I promise you, not leaving that comment is not gonna hurt you. But if you must, if you must, say one more time. If you must, that's your prerogative, baby. That ain't got nothing to do with me. And I'm and I'ma still be blessed. I'ma still be walking within my truth, and I'm still gonna be just fine. Okay. Anyway, chill. So that's all the spiel that I got. So let's get into my story. At 16 years old, I met the man I'd eventually marry at 18. Now, um, the sun rose and set with this man. I loved him so much. That's the first thing I want to get into and say is that I love this man so much. Please do not feel like me getting into this story and me revealing the things that happened during our marriage or after is me hating him or not having had that love for him, because that's just not true. And I don't bash him. I don't bash his family. I don't bash anybody, okay? The situation has happened. I have moved on, and it is just one of the many stories that the Book of Trinity has. Okay, and that's just it. So, like I said, at 16, I met the man that I would marry at 18. Um, Now I met him online. I had been untruthful about my age, saying that I was 18 when I was not. This is not okay. Okay? I'm gonna say it again. This is not okay. And I make no excuses for it. I was wrong. Plain and simple. I was wrong. Okay? I was wrong. Now, many people will ask, why at 16 was you on that app? Okay. Um, so the simple answer is I was a very neglected child and teen. I did not receive the love I needed. Um, or I should say the love that I required. All teens, kids, you need love. They need that love. Even human beings, we need love. Okay. Um, so I saw it in other places, which led me to that app. Parents, parents. Say it one more time, parents. Please love on your children. Please tell them that they are beautiful. Please tell them that they are needed. Please tell them they are smart, they are intelligent, they are worthy, they are purposeful. And on this planet, they are enough. Anywhere, they are enough. Tell kids they are enough. Um, so children need to be loved and cared for, or naturally they will seek it elsewhere. Not the plane going by. Oh, it's a helicopter, yeah. Hey, it's a whole helicopter. They will seek it elsewhere. Um, if they are not loved and cared for in the home unit. So it may not be in the most healthy of ways. This is not me blaming or bashing my parents. Let me say that again. This is not me blaming or bashing my parents in any way, shape, or form at all. Okay? I'm a grown woman. My childhood was just that. My childhood. I'm in adulthood now. I have moved on. If I didn't have the childhood I may have wanted, I'm creating the adulthood that I deserve now. So, it just doesn't matter anymore. This is for educational purposes only. Okay. So eventually he was deployed and I graduated from high school. Eventually we got married when I turned 18 and we moved in together after he was back from deployment. I have to be honest, the argument started immediately. We were simply incompatible. Both of us were just too young, too immature, and had too many issues going on between ourselves to be in any relationship. We really should have been getting ourselves together um, at that age than to be married. I'm not bashing people who are married young. If you're in a healthy relationship, more power to you, honestly. It's a lot to be married. And, it's not even that it's a lot to be married. It's a lot to be married before you're ready. Okay? It's a lot to be married before you're ready and before you really know what marriage is and what a marriage requires. Okay? I didn't know what marriage required. I didn't know what I needed to be in order to be married. We were simply incompatible and it was evident then, but I wanted what my childhood had lacked. I wanted a happy family. I really wanted a happy family. So I joined therapy to work on my childhood wounds and encourage him to do the same. He refused constantly. He didn't feel he needed therapy. Although the lasting effects of his childhood trauma and his coping mechanisms that had formed from his childhood trauma uh, constantly affected our communication. our ability to bond, our ability to be intimate, our ability to laugh together, our ability to cry together, our ability to grow together, and simply develop as a couple in the way we were supposed to, etc. The couple nature and our relationship dulled and dulled and dulled and dulled until eventually it just slowly started dying. Until I was drained and broken down and I felt like I was a failure. I continuously would threaten him with divorce. It wouldn't go, y'all, I constantly would threaten him with divorce if he wouldn't go to counseling or therapy and change. I do not condone this behavior either. I'm going to say that again. I do not condone that behavior. It is immature. Simply put, it is immature. Um, it was and is immature to threaten someone with divorce. Hanging anything over somebody's head, but especially something like that is very immature. Now, I'm going to also preface this by saying I was immature then. So, yeah. Um, I was wrong. I was at my wit's end and I loved him. So I wanted to be together, but he had ways about him that made being married to him hell. I'm not saying, I'm gonna say it again, I am not saying I was or am perfect by any means, but his behavior kept me in a constant state of fight or flight and triggered my old wounds I was beginning to close in therapy. Eventually, we received orders to PCS. That's what the military refers to as permanent change of station. Beginning, um, this took us to Tennessee. Things were bliss in the beginning, but then the old problems came back even stronger. Baby, they came back with a vengeance. Um, we were alone. We were away from the support system we had in Tennessee. I mean, in Texas. We ended up moving to Tennessee. That's why I got Tennessee and Texas mixed up. But in Texas, the support system was in Texas. And all we had was each other. So we needed to lean on each other. But if you're leaning on each other and you have a shaky foundation, it's destined to fall, destined to collapse either way. And things tanked all the way. And I gave him an ultimatum. I don't think these are necessarily mature either. I feel like this, and this is just how I personally feel. So relax, baby. This how I'm gonna say I personally feel, okay? Um, if you have to give somebody an ultimatum, especially in the way I had to give somebody an ultimatum, y'all probably shouldn't be together. Just let that sink in. Yeah, anyway. So, um, and I told him if he didn't get therapy, we were getting a divorce. We had the biggest argument yet. Um, this exposed all his true feelings and broke my heart beyond repair in a relationship. From that day, I was done. I was done. I had left completely emotionally, and then he agreed to finally go to counseling. However, he refused to take any accountability in the counseling office. He felt I was being extra and I was being unreasonable and I was causing unnecessary issues. We attended 2 sessions and we never went back because we got nowhere in those sessions. We got nowhere in those sessions. It was over and he knew it was over. I knew it was over. Um, he tried to fight it then. He tried to be the best husband possible. He was cooking. He was cleaning. He was listening to me. He was wanting to go out. We were doing the things that we should have been doing from the beginning. Um, and, but I was done. I was done. Soon we found ourselves about to be signing divorce papers. I had plans to move to San Antonio, Texas, to pursue nursing school. I shared my plans. I told him I didn't want the house, or money. I did not want the house. I did not want any money. And I'm going to break down those two things. I did not want the house because at the time I was 20 years old. So with being 20 years old, that was a very large investment for me. And it's not even just like about the investment of the house. To me, I felt like I was just too young to be living in a house. That was a personal view, that I had when I was that age. I don't feel like that anymore. Um, yeah. So, and we proceeded from there. I asked him if I could stay until it was time for me to enroll and move into my apartment on campus. He said yes. Soon, I will find out he didn't mean yes. He really did not mean that. He became someone I had never met. He became petty. He became aggressive. He became combative. He became just, I don't know who, became somebody else. I was in disbelief. The divorce papers included a quick claim deed. And with how he had been acting, I didn't trust him to not throw me out and I'd be homeless. Now, you know, at the time I was about to be 20 and oh wait, or was I 20? Y'all, this not happened a while ago. I think I was 20 years old already. I was 20 years old already. And yeah, I was 20 years old already. My job, I had already started the process to transfer to a facility that was in San Antonio. Um, so, I had everything set up for that time, but if anybody knows how just the world works, you know what I mean? You cannot just move. Like most people cannot just move. And I was not in a position where I could just move. Yes, I wanted a divorce, but there's a lot of people who get divorces and until the other spouse is up on their feet, they live amongst each other. And I was thinking that we could do that since to me this was an amicable decision. This was not a decision, where we're hollering and we're screaming at each other. Like, no, like, but before we signed these papers, we had a pretty good talk about it, like, hey, this just it. So I thought. Um, but then after the behavior, I refused to sign the papers. Um, and the reason I refused to sign the papers is because I was like, this man gonna throw me out. I didn't want to be thrown out. And this is just another PSA, y'all. This is how I handled my situation. If you are somebody who would have handled it better, my hat is off to you, man. But this is how I handle the situation. And I've already addressed the fact that, these are decisions I made when I was younger. Just that I can't handle. If I was in the same situation now, of course I'd have handled it differently. Um, so I didn't have any money to rent a hotel or rent an apartment. And plus, the time for me to move was less than 2 months away, or it was 3 months. Yeah, it was like between 2 and 3 months away. So it wasn't enough time for me to have got a hotel. I'm not a hotel. It was not enough time for me to have got an apartment. You know what I mean? Like getting an apartment for 3 months, like who doing it? Like that's kind of crazy. So, yeah. And I was under the age of 21. So, the hotels that would allow me to stay there, they had outrageous fees for a person under 21 to be renting there. Um, or to be getting a room there. I don't know why I keep on saying rent, y'all. Um, so I was counting on to be able to lay low until then. So then one day I came back to the house after working overnight. I did this purposely so I wasn't home when he was. And he barged in on me while I was getting dressed and told me he would make my life a living hell. He would make my life a living hell until I got out of his house. I asked him to leave because I was in a state of undress. And, although we had been married at, one point and, within our marriage, of course, we had been intimate. And of course, you know what I mean? We had seen each other naked and things like that. But I felt like because of the point that we were in within the marriage, well, basically outside of the marriage, I didn't want him to see me like that anymore. I felt like it was a violation of my privacy because we had already agreed to be staying in different rooms and all of that. So, um, um,
So yeah, I say he took me that back more. I say man, tomorrow.
So I asked him to leave while he got dressed. While I got dressed, he refused and got in my bed. So I went in the bathroom to change, or I tried to go in the bathroom to change. He walked in and he pulled his pants down immediately when he walked in. And he was facing me too. So I saw all his business and it just it just wasn't a good day, you know. And he went into the toilet because there's a separate portion in the bathroom. So you walk into the bathroom and you're exposed to the shower stall and the tub, the mirror and all of that. And then there's a separate door for in it, in a little room, yeah, it was a toilet part. So he went in there and he used the bathroom. So at that time, I took that time to walk out onto the front door or with a front porch or whatnot. And I called a family member of his and I asked them to talk to him. They said they didn't want to be involved, but would talk to him. So I went back in and he was waiting for me at the door and he pushed me into the wall. When I got up and I started walking to the bedroom, he kept trying to trip me and push me. And I was in shock because he had never put his hands on me. Like ever. He had never put his hands on me. Most people with, where this story will eventually turn, would have imagined that I was a battered woman or that during our relationship, he had been violent. No, he wasn't. He had never been violent. He never really was a yeller or screamer or anything like that. Um, so yeah, this had really shocked me. And I really just didn't expect it. So I was in shock. He followed me into the room and he got into the bed again. At this point, I was scared. I was absolutely terrified. And, my anger had got the best of me. And I went and I grabbed a pair of scissors. And I had the scissors just like this. And I had been standing over him because he had went and laid in the bed. So I remember him getting his phone out and him laying his phone on his stomach. But, I didn't really think too much of it because I was like, what in the world does he have going on? But I held the scissors and I was like, if you don't stop putting your hands on me or if you touch me again, I'm gonna stab you. And unbeknownst to me at that time, he was reporting me. I I don't know if this was a plan that he had from the beginning or what, but he was recording me. So I got dressed fully. I finished getting dressed and I tried to go to the garage. He pushed me out the garage and I slammed into my car. And I finally got in my car and I called a family friend of his who encouraged me to go to the police. So I'm just going to say this. When I went to the police, I was simply seeking help. I didn't want him to get in trouble. I did not want him to get arrested. I wanted it to stop. I felt like it had gotten so out of control to the point where I was just so shocked with his behavior that I didn't know how to process anything. I didn't know how to deal with it. This was out of the norm for his behavior. This was out of the norm for any um problem within our relationship he had ever gone through. You know, I had never seen this side of him. So I didn't know what to do. Um, they encouraged me to go to the police, and I did. Like I said, I just wanted the police to tell him to leave me alone until I left, okay? Because I didn't know what to do. I didn't even make a report because I didn't want him to get in trouble. And I didn't want his career to be in jeopardy. You know, people have to understand, I still loved that man. I still loved him. I just didn't want to be with him. When the police got there, he told them I abused him. He had deleted the ADT doorbell footage from when I was outside and I had been talking to the family friend. He deleted all, he just had deleted all the footage. And he showed the police the video of me where I was holding the scissors and told the police officers that I made him feel unsafe. They took me to jail for domestic assault and he bailed me out. He said he didn't know that they would arrest me. The court issued what's called a COR. That is a condition of release. In the condition of release, it outlined the fact that I could not go back to the property or I would risk being arrested again. So he asked me to come over, and against my better judgment and common sense, I did. Now, I just also want to say again, I know I keep on doing these little PSAs. I just finished a little story, y'all, at this point, because people gonna talk and they gonna talk. But I was young. I just want to preface it again by saying I was young. I'm still lucky young. Like I'm still young, y'all. But I was younger, and you know, you have this whole fairy tale lollipop image of things when you're younger, where you feel like you just have different feelings about things. You're not experiencing the world yet. So I did. Plus, I still love this man. I feel like that's something else I need to continue to reiterate that at this time, I still loved him. I just did not want to be with him. You can love somebody, but know that y'all don't need to be together. That is very much a thing. So I did, but as soon as I walked in the door, he wanted me to say I cheated on him. He wanted me to say I was the reason that our relationship crumbled, when I wouldn't. We got into, it wasn't really an argument. He was the one who had got so upset because I refused to say that I'm the whole reason that the relationship crumbled. You know, I was just like, no, we both have had a hand in this relationship. You know, I just felt like we were just too young when we got together and we really just didn't know what we wanted out of this relationship, which is going to have problems. Simply put, we had communication ills and incompatibility issues. That's why the relationship crumbled. Um, so at that point, he was mad. We had a verbal exchange. I went into the room to grab some clothes and he called the police on me. And I was arrested a second time. My father posted my bail and I went to his chain of command after having a conversation with a trusted individual who told me how long would I continue to allow him to try to ruin me, because he had called up to my job, he had called up to my school, telling these people I was a felon and that I abused people, that, you know, he just wanted to ruin my life essentially. Um, so my future was at stake. I'm gonna say it again. My future was at stake, and at this point, I didn't know what to do. This is a whole nother side of this man. I had been married to this man for 2 years at this point, and I had never seen him act like this. I had never seen him being revengeful, being vindictive. I had never seen him act like this. So I'm gonna keep saying that I had never seen him act like this. So, um, I told his chain of command the real story. I had receipts and I just had told them the truth, simply. And soon after this, we had the final court hearing and they released the COR. Once again, the COR is a condition of release against me, allowing me to go back to the house. He was angry. He stormed out of the courtroom that day. He had mumbled under his breath that it was his house and all of these things. Um, they allowed me to get my things from the property. And so I left. Later on, I went to the house and I had to call a locksmith because he didn't leave the key or any way for me to get in. And we had a keypad where you could put the passcode in and be able to get in. But, excuse me, um, he had changed the passcode. So I called a locksmith and they let me in. As soon as I got in the house, I hugged my cat. Um, at the time, I had a black and white t-shirt, not t-shirt, Lord, tuxedo cat, a gray, gray and white tuxedo cat, guys. Her name was Jules. And she's the light of my life. I actually got her, tattooed on my arm. That's my baby. Um, I hugged her and I went into the room and I called my mom while packing a bag. And she alerted me to a text message that he had sent her. And she was alarmed by the text message. Now, she didn't go into the details of the text message. Maybe she didn't want to scare me or, whatnot, but it had alarmed her enough where she wanted to call the base to talk to staff duty. So we called the base and talked to staff duty and, they assured me I wouldn't be hurt. Um, we got off the phone and I called my father. Um, I was about to leave the house with the bag that I had packed when I heard the front door open. It was him, and he saw me heading out the door or whatnot. And when I saw him, it was something in his eyes, or maybe it was the lack of what was in his eyes. He had nothing behind his eyes, nothing at all, just emptiness. It was very scary to come face to face with that, and something in me told me to run, so I ran. Um, he chased me, and he ended up breaking the door down, and he beat me up, and then he shot me 19 times, and then he killed himself. I'm gonna say it one more time. My name is Trinity Wiley, and I was shot 19 times, um, and then I watched my ex-husband kill himself. To this day, that was the worst day of my life, and it was also the best day of my life. Now, everybody's going to be asking, Trini, like, why was that the best day of your life? It's obvious why it was the worst day of your life, but why was it the best day of your life? It was the best day of my life because as I laid in the floor after I called 911, I began to talk to God. And I told God, I said, God, please don't let me die. I don't want to die. I told God that I did not want to die. I was too young to die. I had plans. I had my whole life ahead of me. Well, I have my whole life ahead of me. And I could not die. I couldn't die. In that moment, God didn't answer me. In that moment, he didn't answer me. But the police officers got there. They broke the door down. They secured the scene. The ambulance came in there. Well, the paramedics, they came in there. They got me up off the floor and I was life flighted to Vanderbilt Hospital. And that right there is where I saw the angels. That's where I saw the angels. That's where I saw God. answering my prayers. That's where I saw it. I want to personally say thank you to Vanderbilt Hospital. Thank you so much. They put me together, y'all, like a cyborg, okay? I have a metal rod in my arm. Okay, I have a metal rod in my arm. I have a plate in my hand. I am, by the grace of God, able to grip objects. By the grace of God, I'm still able to open things. I am still able to have limited motion with my hand, and in my leg, which, y'all put my leg up kind of crazy in it. But with my leg, I am still able to walk, run. I work out. I lift weights. I live a regular life, as a 22-year-old would do, other than some modified movements with my hand. Um, and that is by the grace of God. And I'm hoping that in this video, I can allow y'all to see that God is real. He's real. And in my darkest moments, He came through and He saved me from death. He really did. He saved me from the fate that somebody else wanted me to have. I wasn't meant to live. Well, I wasn't supposed to live. Let me say that I was not supposed to live. Um, but I did because that was God's will. It was God's will for me to be here. It was God's will for me to be right here talking to you guys. That was God's will for me to get up here and share my story. That was God's will. I need you guys to understand that I am not angry. I am not hurt. I am not sad. I am not depressed about what happened to me. The pain that was meant to break and destroy me saved me. It saved me. It showed me a different way in life. It showed me a different way to live. It showed me how strong I really am. And they brought me in front of this camera today. They brought me in front of this camera today. Um, yeah. Y'all don't even know what else to say. Other than that is my story. I will be back on here, posting videos, about my life. Not so much like, getting too much into my life, but more so, telling stories with a purpose to, motivate, educate, you know what I mean, type of thing. And, I really hope that you guys can get on here and you can see through my story the work of God. I really do. I really do. I hope that you guys can see me and see that He's intentional. He is intentional. And when God is not done writing your story, there is nothing that can be done to take you out. There's nothing that can be done to take you out. If He's not finished writing your story, there is nothing that can be done to take you out because you have a purpose to fulfill. You have value in your life, and there's a reason that you are here. It was a many days after I was shot where I felt purposeless. It was a many days where I didn't want to live no more because I felt like I had nothing to live for. It was a many days where I had a plan, I had a means, and I had intention to take my own life, but I didn't. I ain't nobody but God. I have been in some of the darkest places in my life after having this happen to me, and I rose over it. I rose over it all, and I will continue to rise over it all because I'm a conqueror. I am more than a conqueror. So I hope that my story can motivate you guys. I hope that my story can educate you guys. I hope that my story can be a beacon of light in your day to show you that, baby, look, I got 19 bullet wounds in my body. I got 19 bullet wounds in my body. I'm going to say it one more time. I have 19 bullet wounds in my body. I cook for myself. I clean for myself. I run. I jump. I work out. I go out. I talk to people. I enjoy my life as a 22-year-old woman. Get up. You are okay. You will be okay. Whatever you are going through right now, you will be okay and you will make it out. You will be okay and you will make it out of that situation. Do not allow yourself to wallow in self-pity. Do not allow yourself to be the thing that take you out. Don't do it. You more than that. You got a purpose on this earth, even if you don't know it yet. Even if you can't see it yet. You got a purpose. You here for a reason, Buki. You here for a reason. A God-given reason. Even if you can't see it. Sometimes you ain't meant to see it. Okay? Sometimes if God give you them blessings before you ready, before you go through your trials and your tribulation and your pruning season, you will squander those blessings. You will mess up those blessings. You will not appreciate those blessings. Okay? Sometimes God has us go through things, and I ain't saying it's being shot 19 times, not necessarily, but sometimes He has us go through things so that way we can appreciate the things that He's then going to give us. That times two blessing that's going to come to us. To give the devil for our trouble that He's going to give us. Okay? And yeah, y'all, this message ain't perfect. I ain't perfect, y'all, okay? But if you riding with me, I'm rolling with you, okay? So, and I hope that you guys can see me. You want to come back. You want to hear from you. You know what I mean? And I hope that you'll subscribe to my channel, guys. You ain't even got to subscribe. Yeah, just if you want to watch the video, watch the video. I'm hoping that I can be a beacon of light in your day. You know what I mean? Maybe you listen to me as you doing your makeup. Maybe listening to me while you on the way to your job. Okay. Maybe you listening to me because you bored. Maybe listening to me because you need that extra motivation in your day. And I promise to be that to y'all. I promise to use my second chance in this life to help other people. That was my agreement with God, and that's what I'm gonna do. So my name is Trinity Wiley, otherwise known as Trinity's Voice. And I'm hoping that on this journey we can connect together and we can create a whole community, y'all. Um, a community just that conquers, guys. A community that conquers. And like I said, if y'all rocking with me, I'm rolling with y'all. Y'all rocking with me, I'm rolling with y'all. Okay? And I love you guys. I know people say that all the time, but I really do love y'all. Each and every person who watched my video, even if you're finna leave a hate comment, I love you. Even if you're finna talk about me, I love you. Because I feel like a person who has that kind of hate in their heart They ain't been told that today. So I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you again. I love you. Put your YouTube fingers down. Your YouTube thumb. Put it down. Leave the comments alone. The comments can be without the hate, at least for today. But um, yes, I love you guys. Thank you for watching me. Thank you for watching this video. If you got it, if you made it to this end, well, if you made it to the end of this video, I don't know. You know, most time people be talking about something. Put something in the comments. Drop an emoji or something. What I'm gonna ask y'all drop? I don't know. A kiwi emoji? Y'all drop a kiwi emoji. Drop a kiwi emoji. Comments. Yeah. You made it this far. And thank you for listening to my story. And I really hope that it helps you. I really hope it motivates you. And this is just the first of many, y'all. Where I'm going, I'm taking y'all with me. Okay. I'm not gonna be one of those people. I ain't even never gonna call myself an influencer. Ew. But but I ain't never gonna be one of those people who is brought somewhere or made to be somewhere and I forget where I come from, where the humble beginnings. That's not me. Okay. So yeah, love you guys.